Hi everyone, this is Kalyan Kumar this side and welcome back to Chemistry Universe. This is part 8 of carbohydrates. We are doing biomolecules. Carbohydrate was the first one. This is the 8th video of that series and this would be the last part where we do the chemical properties of glucose. Here we'll also introduce fructose to you. We'll also talk about its preparation and the properties of fructose are almost the same as that of glucose. So let's get on with this video. All right, so here you have reaction number 10. We did 9 till now. This is reaction with NaOH and calcium hydroxide. Now, glucose can be epimerized by treating with alkali. Can you understand what is epimerization? Epimerization simply means that you are changing the configuration of one chiral carbon. So of all the chiral carbons of glucose, we're going to change the configuration of one chiral carbon and that is brought about by base. So glucose undergoes the epimerization. Now some glucose is also converted into fructose in this process and this rearrangement is also known as the Lobry-de-Bruyn-Van Ekenstein rearrangement. There are two people and difficult to pronounce their names though. So basically you can start with glucose or fructose, it doesn't matter. Add NaOH. If it is fructose, you'll get glucose. If it is glucose, you'll get fructose. But besides these, you'll also get mannose, which is actually the epimer of glucose. So if you start with glucose, you use NaOH, you'll get mannose and fructose. You start with fructose, you'll get glucose and mannose. And this is how it happens. Mechanism. Now we are only looking at the first OH, okay? Right, rather not the first OH, you can say first chiral carbon or second carbon OH. In the glucose, that is on the right side. Remember, it was the second OH which was on the left. The first OH was on the right. And in mannose, the first OH is on the left. Everything is the same as glucose. So that was the epimer. So this is going to become that. How? Well, what it will do, this aldehyde or the keto form will form the enol, the enediol. Basically, it is tautomerizing. The aldehyde becomes the enediol. Now, the enediol will form a keto here. That would become fructose. Remember, this was fructose. Now, since there is a single bond here, it can easily rotate to the right or left. Right now it is the right, it will rotate and become left. You may wonder, how does this matter? Well, now if it forms again an enediol, that means this again tautomerizes and forms an enediol, wouldn't that OH will be always on the left? And this OH is anyway on the left. And then when it again changes into the aldehyde form, you have effectively brought this carbon OH on the left. And do not think that, I can simply rotate this back. Mannose cannot become glucose by simple rotation. Because remember, this is Fischer projection. In Fischer projection, you cannot take anything out of plane. When we did it here, it was not this part was not the Fischer projection because none of the carbons were chiral here. So basically glucose has become mannose and the mannose can also become glucose by this mechanism. So this is epimerization. Now what happens is you have the 11th reaction, which is the mutarotation. Very interesting reaction, very important reaction. When pure alpha D glucose is dissolved in water, its specific rotation is found to be 112 degrees. Remember, specific rotation for all practical purposes can be taken as rotation per unit concentration per unit length of the polarimeter tube. So let's forget the unit length and all. Just assume we're looking at a standardized polarimeter and we're looking at one unit concentration. It could be 1 molar, it could be 1 gram in 100 ml or whatever, but one unit concentration. And the rotation is positive 112 degrees. Now, with time, however, the specific rotation of the solution decreases, ultimately reaches a stable value of 52.5 degrees. How does this happen? When beta D glucose is dissolved in water, it has a specific rotation of 19 degrees only. The specific rotation of this solution increases with time and again reaches 52.5. So what do you think must be happening? Obviously, alpha and beta must be interconverting. This change of optical rotation with time is called mutarotation. And it is caused by the conversion of alpha and beta glucopyranose anomers into an equilibrium mixture of both. Now, mutarotation is catalyzed by both acid and base, but also occurs even in pure water. And mutarotation is caused due to the existence of glucose in the cyclic hemiacetal form. So, alpha D glucose is converting to beta. This was 112. This is 19. And remember, the equilibrium mixture has 52.7. What does it mean? If X is the percentage of alpha form in the equilibrium mixture, then don't you think X over 100 into 112 plus 100 minus X would be, which would be the percentage of beta form upon 100 into 19 would be 52.7? And this is what gets us the amount of alpha or beta form. So as you can see, the alpha form is lower, 36.5, 36.2, and the beta form was higher, which we've already discussed is due to the hydrogen bonding and stuff like that. So the percentage of alpha form is 36.3% and that of beta is 63.8 in the equilibrium mixture. So what is basically happening is this is alpha form. In the presence of H3O plus, the acetal is breaking off. So it becomes this, then it breaks and you get this. And the lone pair stabilizes this. You get this. And now there is a rotation about C, single bond C. So this OH can come up in the equatorial position. And then this O will attack. This will shift and you'll get the other one. You started with alpha, you end up getting beta. So that is mutarotation for you. Then let's look at fructose. Same formula as glucose. It's a ketohexose. Now fructose is also known as fruit sugar because it primarily occurs naturally in many fruits. It also occurs naturally in other plant foods such as honey, sugar beets, sugarcane, and vegetables. Fructose is the sweetest naturally occurring carbohydrate and is 1.2 to 1.8 times sweeter than even the table sugar, the sucrose that we use. Now, fructose metabolism does not require insulin and has low impact on blood glucose level. Remember, glucose is the one that gives us energy. So, despite you having fructose in you, unless and until the fructose becomes glucose, which it does, which we have seen it does, and during epimerization, it will not be able to give you energy, which is why the fructose level in the blood does not impact anything in your body. It is a glucose level which impacts because it is glucose which is constantly consumed. And it is the metabolism of glucose that requires insulin. Insulin converts glucose into glycogen. And therefore, what happens is that in fructose, you don't need fructose to get metabolized into anything for that matter. So insulin dependence occurs only for glucose. And let's see the preparation. Similarly, lab method is simply cane sugar, same preparation. You get glucose and fructose. And in the industrial scale, instead of using starch, we use inulin. It's a polysaccharide. And it completely gives us fructose. And this is fructose, what you get. Physical properties, well, it is water soluble just like glucose. And at standard temperature, it's also a white crystalline solid, very similar to glucose. And chemical properties, we don't have to discuss much because all of them are similar to that of glucose. And with that, we come to the end of part 8, glucose chemical properties 3. And that in fact ends the chemical properties of glucose. With that, we come to the end of this video. And we have a couple of more videos left. We have we have to do some of the disaccharides like glycogen. We have to do, maltose and all of that. So we will be doing all of that. Lactose, they're all disaccharides. Then we'll do polysaccharides, we'll do starch, etc. And the cellulose. So all those are polysaccharides, we'll do them. And then we'll do the test of carbohydrates. So after this part, there are 4 more parts, 9, 10, 11, 12. And with that, carbohydrate will come to the end. But right now, we are at the end of part 8. I'll catch you in the next one.